Hello everyone, this is Greg bringing you a video to help you wait during my kind of delayed winter break for January. I will come back in a week or two. I don't know yet, it's kind of complicated at the moment, but forget it and let's be strong for what we have to do and stay positive. I'm trying, but believe me, it's hard. Okay, forget it. Just a few disclaimers before. I am Greg from Paris, France, running Greg's Whiskey Guide. For those who don't know me and newcomers to the channel, hello and thank you. And I am running a website which is at the moment a bit mothballed, if I may say, but I mean mothballed in terms of adding new content. But as it is running from 2013 until, let's say, last year and a bit of beginning of 2021, I mean, March, I think I stopped around March, on April and June. I have to change the host of the website. It's complicated. I do not do everything myself, technical things wise. I'm more on the content and trying to well, anyway, you can, what I meant is you can still go to see gregswhiskeyguide.com and have a lot of content, even if it's not novelties related. I apologize, but there's huge loads of content on reviewing, but also big topics. There are parts that are in French, others are in English as well, or both. I did a big effort those last 3-4 years, let's say, before stopping, to do almost every tasting note in French and in English, which is a huge amount of work. Anyway, my activity, what I mean, is more now on YouTube, this channel, and also on social media. You will find all the links you need below. For the most whiskey and other spirits related social media, it's Instagram since a few months now. Just type Greg's Whiskey Guide. Otherwise, for more sensitive and complicated and okay, there's others medias you will check out, and also my paintings, because I do some paintings, some being relating to whiskey. Okay, it's a long intro. It is not finished. I recently noticed that there were, when I'm checking out and modifying my videos, I've noticed there's a lot of advertisement that are put in the beginning or at the end or anywhere. I am sorry, I apologize. I have nothing to do with that, and I don't take any money for that. It's YouTube, unless you are going premium and paying a high price or having different options, which I don't have, being a small channel. You're obliged to have advertisement imposed by YouTube on your videos, so I'm sorry about that. You can skip once you have a few seconds. They tell you to skip the advertisement, so I'm sorry about that. Another disclaimer: you won't see, you noticed you didn't see a Whiskey of the Year 2021 from me, because I couldn't go to festivals and stuff. I don't want to go back into the main suffering topic at the moment here and other places, but this is related. But I've tasted some novelties that I placed in some recent videos, such as the Orchard House from Compass Box, novelties of last year now. And I will see if I can at least try a few ones this year. I don't know. Anyway, I have a whole amount of whiskies there, and 100, maybe 200 samples late, which I will be hopefully starting at last this year to do, what I don't have the title yet, but some things like friendly sample sessions, where I will go only on samples exchange or offered, swapped, etc. From the whiskey community. There are a lot, and again, thank you everyone. I know many other people than me struggle to keep up with the samples too, so it's a common thing. What else? Yes, let's go now to the topic of this video, which was a bit unexpected. Recently I've noticed I forgot to sub to or it is not appearing when you have subscribed to a lot of channel. Even if you have notification bell clicked, often it doesn't appear as an evident choice because there are too many options. So sorry about the channels, I didn't manage to keep up to watch their novelties, etc. But recently I got back to see Leanne from Louisiana. Hi Leanne. Which runs, I think, the blog called Scotch in the Bayou, and now the YouTube channel since a few months or so, or 6 months, I don't remember. Scotch in the Bayou. So lovely channel, lovely tone, lovely way of explaining, very relaxed and interesting content. So I will put a link below. Why do I speak about Leanne, which you know by the whiskey community if you go VPub and other places? It's because she was challenged, I think, by ADHD Bourbon or something like that. I didn't know who started really at the very beginning the challenge, so I apologize if I don't quote it. But I did comment his challenge that was called, I think, 5 Scotch whiskies you need in 2022, something like that. And while commenting the challenge video, she said, "Why don't you tell me what are your choices?" Something like that. So I said, okay. So instead of answering the comment section, I say, okay, let's be challenged as if it was official challenge in the video, and let's do my video as well. But as you know, I'm not doing things like the others, and I like sometimes to complicate or to be more detailed than some. I did double challenge myself or quadruple or 4 times to give you 2 options for 5 Scotch whiskies you need to have in 2022, and 5 world whiskies after that, and the same first choice and an alternative. In case you don't find it, or because the alternative is less easy to find. Okay, sorry. So let's start. I'm late already, but it's been quite some 2 weeks or so I didn't do a video. I was not in the mood to do to tell you the truth at all, and I am forcing a bit myself not to do it because it's a pleasure for me also to get back on track, even if it's temporary. A lot of stuff on my table as usual. So there are 5 categories defined. And before I forgot, I don't challenge someone in particular for this task to choose 5 Scotch whiskies and 5 world whiskies. But if someone feels like doing it, please do. And put the link below, please. Or if there's not a link, let me know in the comment section that you have something like that in the channel, and I will add it to my description. So there are 5 categories. I will just explain in which ways I fit, or I understand the category, or I take it for myself. So 1 is daily drinker, 2nd is impress my guests. It's not my categories, once again, it's the categories that were defined by the previous challenging channel. not Leanne, but the categories were defined before her. So daily drinker, impress my guests, best mixer, the fourth is Friday night pour, and the fifth is special occasion. I was not super comfortable with the categories, so I kind of changed my mind several times. So it's still some work, even if you don't taste anything. You gotta remember what you have and how it fits to the category. I have to be honest, some are exchangeable, special occasion and impress my guest especially, but this was for me an option to give you more options, if I may say. Daily drinker as some, don't remember if it was Al from Whiskey Straight Al or someone else, as some YouTubers pointed on point, if I may say. I'm not comfortable with a daily drinker if it means encouraging people to have alcohol consumption every day of the week. Me, I do alternate between dry days and wet days, if I may say. And also, as I like other spirits, I do not tend to mix, and I keep some days where I'm not drinking anything alcohol-wise. Right, so the notion of daily drinker, and I will start with that, is very relative. For me, it means easy drinking whiskey, cheap or very affordable, and something you won't get bored if you try it, let's say 2 or 3 times a week. I have to tell you, because I had an adventure, bad experience 10 years ago or so, I will never drink the same and eat it's the same, it's food, drink the same whiskey all the week, even if I could, because I will get bored of it very quickly, and I will never drink it again probably. Anyway, you see what I mean, I hope. So daily drinker, first I will do the Scotch whiskies, and then I will do the World Whiskies, right? So Scotch whiskey, I will try to show you the bottle from close each time. It's a bit complicated here, but we're doing our best. It's no surprise for those who know my channel. Daily drinker, very easy whiskey, nice Speyside, uncomplicated but enough complexity and character to entertain you on a tranquil day. You go back to work and you just want to sip a few, just a dram of it before dinner or something like that. It's one of the nicest aperitif whiskey, I have to say. A nice Speysider and bang for your buck, great value, often under 20 euros here. So I know it's no age statement, etc., etc., but I don't care. It works for me, at least. So there you have it. Glenmorangie, no age statement. Elgin Classic is the name of the range, and it's also the name of this whiskey in particular. Another alternative, it's I think one of the best values and of the best blended whiskies, very well made. It's the Ballantine's 12. So creamy, slightly smoky, quite some complexity, some caramel. I forgot to speak about the Glenmorangie, but I spoke a lot about it in my channel. So very fresh, very floral, fruity, etc. So nice one too, this Ballantine's 12. I think it works well. I could have put those two also in the best mixer category, but I had to do different choices. What do we have next? Impress my guests. So in this category I did select for you 2 options. One, value and affordable availability, everything you need if you don't have a lot of budget, under 50 euros, something like that. Sometimes you get more. It is the old packaging, it's not the most recent, but great value to impress your guests. This is the 43% version. You will see it in another category, this distillery, Speyside Distillery, doing for not for all, but for many expressions, slightly peated and slightly sherried, sometimes half, or in a finish like here, sometimes fully sherried. Great range, great distillery. This one, the first time I tried it more than 10 years ago, it was blind, and I suggested, and I was not the only one in a group of friends, a Lagavulin over 18 years old, maybe 20. No, a Speysider of just 10 years old. So you see, it can impress, because of course for me this category has to be poured blind to your guests. It's just my opinion. Now, on the more expensive and more personal way of impressing your guests, for me, is bottle your own, bring on the table for a try a bottle your own. And this is after a distillery visit. I know, of course, it has become complicated those last years. But in 2018, I went to Aberfeldy and I did not myself hand fill this, because I explained it in another video and on my website. But I have it signed explaining things. It's a gentle woman from the distillery did fill it for me because we were late, we had to leave. And it was not the first option that was on the ground level, the bourbon cask one. It was one that was a bit hidden and just on the shelf. And I said, what's that? Because I have the eye for those things. And she said, oh yeah, this is also another one available. This is first fill Oloroso Sherry. Okay. I might choose this one. And as you see, 60.6 ABV, 1999 vintage, beautiful, one of the most maltier and chocolatier whiskey I ever tried. Lovely one. Again, not cheap. It was over something like 160 pounds. I did break the bank for bring back a memory. This is the only place where no, but there's also Glenmoray. When it was not a bottle you're on in Glenmoray, mind you, it was way cheaper. So yeah, this can be a cool option for me, in my opinion. Best mixer, honestly, I'm not a cocktail specialist. I did try quite some in the past. I know some bartenders. I have a bartender friend. I also listen to some. Yeah, I have to write this down. I'm sorry. Add links to some cocktails. Yes, I will add links to some cocktails and my options. I have two options that are honestly could have been also in the daily drinker category, despite I prefer the pre-2006 or 7 expression, which was not called double oaked. I think this could work well as a Speyside, typical mixer for old-fashioned and classic whiskey cocktails. So the double oak from the Glenlivet distillery. Another option that's overlooked, but I think people are wrong. This is a lovely vanilla-driven sweet spices, some nice malty notes. The Gold Reserve from Cardew, which is not very expensive, something over around 30 euros, can also be for me a good option for as a mixer. Of course, you have Four Roses bourbon if you prefer an American angle, the standard one, and others. Friday night pour, which means something a bit special. You will treat yourself and your friends maybe if they come along. Um, Even if it's not easily available now, I know that. That's why I have another option, which might not be also, but at my place, the second option is more available than this one. This is no surprise for you, and this one is my backup bottle, a bit recent. It's a bit, as you can see, it's a Dusty Shells bottle from 2020. I'm so glad I found this because it's highly rated by Serge, for instance, and others. I might do someday a special horizontal 10 years old Springbank, because I have several ones from different eras. Just saying. Lovely complex with that famous camel down funk, so quite adding some elements to the usual barley, malted barley. Typical, a bit porridgey sometimes when it's full bourbon. We don't see now full bourbon Springbank, except I think it was the 12 this year cask strength that I couldn't find at all. But yeah, lovely complex, a bit more demanding. It's not for beginners, but I just adore the distillery, so it has to be on the table somewhere. Alternative, also classy and very, very good, at least for the batch I have, and I have one in advance of this, the Caledonia, tribute to Dougie MacLean's, one of Scotland's music heroes. It's 12 years old, and it's proudly said on chill filtered natural color, like the previous one, 46%. It's really highlighting well the sherry and the typical for me melon note that it is coming across from this distillery, which is very different and interesting. So great option for me, this Edredar Caledonia. Next section, next category is the special occasion. Special occasion, I chose the option for full peated, if I may say full. I mean, it's still moderated, but there are cask strengths. I chose 2 cask strength peated. One is sherried, one is not. Partly sherried, by the way. This is an old bottle, I know, a bit of collector one, but this is to say Lagavulin, 12 years old, cask strength. Yes, I know this one is old and beautiful. Yeah, nice option for me with all the balance, all the complexity, the heathery, typical, leather, sorry. A bit leathery, a bit slightly farmy, and beautifully maritime, and still bonfire smoke, very concise, very consistent expression. This is one of the Scotland's masterpiece. I don't have other, unfortunately, expressions. I mean, other rotation, as some say, of the same. So it's my first and last Lagavulin 12. An alternative, and I am showing you the old packaging and 2019, I think, bottle, but that means, of what I hear, you could also pick the latest one, maybe also the contrast bit smoke, share it, some say it's very good. Try before you buy, or watch other people's reviews, but this is a stunner. I really love it. Don't remember the rate, but it was over 92 out of 100. So this is a masterpiece, if you like smoke, of course. Now we're gonna pass to the second section with the world. Stay tuned. Okay, back for the second chapter and the last, which is the world category. So 5 world whiskies you need in 2022. Daily drinkers. Daily drinkers, I chose a kind of provocative expression as a first choice. I know some are going to scream, this is not cognac, even if it's a wannabe in terms of packaging, and this is not fully Japanese, I know that. So this is Nikka Super Rare Old Super Nikka, its nickname. I love this one because it's nicely oaky, not too much, nicely malty, chocolatey. This is floral, fruity on the second ground, nicely spicy. This, of course, showcases Ben Nevis. But not only you can get Yoichi Miyagikyo in this and the grain they do, but this is obviously when you taste it showcasing Ben Nevis. And if you don't have Ben Nevis 10 on hand, this is around 45 euros here. This is an interesting alternative despite it is a blend. The 45% ABV really helps this to shine. So yes, despite it's not 100% Japanese, I recommend this one. Also because value-wise it's more interesting than the Nikka from the barrel, in my opinion. Which is, by the way, a good cocktail base too, from the barrel. Right, this was my first option. My second option is French. I had to put some French in there. I'm sorry guys. I know this one is available in several countries. They have an American distributor. They have the UK distribution has changed last year or so. It is now the Pandaren distillery. Don't go figure why. It's now, there was Gordon Macphail previously who distributed Varangian distillery products such as the Armoric single malt I told you about before. As you can see, it's a blended whiskey, but look at the percentage of malt in there. It's huge. Usually for Scotch whiskey it's reverse, and even less than that, 25% grain, 75 malt, 75 grain, 25 malt. So you see that it's a country, so it's quite, and 42, okay, could have been 46, 43, but it's a widely available blended whiskey here. I know you can find it in Sweden, US, and UK, not everywhere of course, but around 35, maybe 40 euros. It's really bang for your buck. Whiskey, and in my opinion, if you're looking for similarities in profile, as shocking as it can be, it is not so far from the great King Street artists blend from Compass Box. It's not so far the profile, half our herbal, floral, spicy. So I think this could be great if you want a French option, of course. Next category, impress my guests. I will impress my guest blind once again. And these guys, you can't see the bottle yet, that's good. And these guys are going to try my bottle. I tried several batches. I haven't tried, to be honest, any batch from the last years, because I'm so happy with my bottle. I have a backup bottle of the same batch, which makes me really very happy. So when you're gonna try this whiskey, your guests who are not very knowledgeable about whiskey will say, "Oh, isn't it what we call a sherry whiskey? Whiskey with a lot of fruits, a lot of character, and reminds me a bit of some cognac and some old Armagnacs, and yeah, it seems to be a 15 or 20 years old Macallan or Glenfarclas." So, and I will say to them with pleasure, no, my friends, it's not more than 5 or 6 years old, but it's tropical climate, and it's Kavalan Sherry Oak Matured, which is for me one of the best sherried whiskey ever, and which can compete indeed with a lot of Macallans and beat them with a price of around 90 euros or so. Like I said 1,000 times, apologies about repeating things. For me, it's more interesting than 200 euros or more contemporary Macallans. Of course, I haven't tried 1,000 euros and more from nowadays. I have tried a lot of Macallans before on my 22, 3, 4 years experience. But for me, this is a masterpiece, and it's sometimes overlooked because it's from the core range, but what a stunning core range expression. I spoke already about it. It's something around 94 or 95 out of 100, yes, in my book. So second option is again a gamble because it's French, so you might struggle to get this, but I had to speak about my favorite French distillery, Glenarmor. This one is dangerously down, I know. So classic single malt from France, very craft oriented, so small batches or single casks only. It goes quick on sale, online, especially foreign visitors know these guys from 20 years before, so they know they do tremendously good whiskey. Glenarmor is the non-pitted version, and it's the name of the distillery. Cornog is the name of the pitted version. They do 46% non-chill filtered, uncolored, direct fired stills, warm tubs, a lot of things that are highly sought after from connoisseurs, I think. So great. This one is a bit darker. Usually it's a yellow acacia, because this is a Coteau du Léon sweet wine, French sweet wine finish, and it's a stunner. There you have it. What we have left. Best mixer, I choose deliberately two rye options because I love rye, and I think they do absolutely great in cocktails, not only Manhattans but a lot of different cocktails, so you know what you're gonna have. I'm sorry to repeat myself, and yes, it is a signed bottle by Don again. Lot 40, of course, one of the very best Canadian whiskies, and probably the best value ever they have done so far. I don't know all Canadian whiskies, but it's again available in France since a few years, so I'm quite happy about that. Hard to find the cask strength version, of course. They go very quick, but this is beautiful. This is, of course, also recommended to sip alone without mixing. Yeah. Another one, I around the same 35-40 euros max price, which I recently found. It is sourced, so it's probably MGP, I think. So in Indiana whiskey, if I'm not mistaken. Bullet 95 rye 95 because I think it's a 46%, 45%. No, it means something else. 45, 40, it's 80. No, it should be 90. Okay, forget it. I didn't do my searches because I didn't review it yet. This one I struggle in the beginning. I say, what is this? There's no finish. And it's frustrated, it's too melted, but as I was exploring it, it started to really shine and open up beautifully. So I think it's not a super masterpiece, of course, but I think it's a great value for that price, and also nice to sip alone, but nice mixer. So there you have it, two rye whiskies. By the way, I'm preparing a rye rundown with all I have. I'm expecting hopefully this year to get one or two more, but so far I think I have 8 or 10, I don't remember now, bottles, different distilleries. So I think no, we didn't have finished, because we have special occasion on World Whiskies. It's a bit more far, and I have two options which won't be very surprising, I think. Didn't I forget something? No, I have the Friday night pour before. Friday night pour I'm gonna bring on the table. Let me switch these. It's getting complicated. I'm going to bring on the table one of my very favorite distilleries, actually my second favorite distillery after Port Ellen, and which is Yoichi. I used to have Yoichi 10 years old, 12 years old, 15 years old, and I still have them. 25 years old cask strength, single cask for France, and the old no age statement before this one. Honestly, the more I explore this one, the more I think it's almost more interesting than the 10, the old 10. The highlight for me, the must-have before 2015, I'm sorry, was the 12, which offered a beautiful profile, a bit like the Highland Park 18. So if I say that, you can have an idea of the profile. It's probably the Highland Park of Japan, but unadulterated Highland Park. I mean, less. What can I say? Staying polite, less engineered, let's say. So also one of the only distilleries to use coal and peat to fire the stills. So coal-fired stills and direct fire are very, very rare, even in the Scotch whisky industry. So there's this beautiful integrated smoky character, almost incense. When you get to the older expressions, you have a very typical Japanese incense note. Not the Mizunara, sorry, because they don't use Mizunara usually in Nikka distilleries. It's rather a Suntory trick for some expressions, because Mizunara is very fragile, delicate, and highly leaking type of wood, so you can't make the spirit stay too long, too many years in Mizunara. It gives more sometimes nice, even smoky, slightly incensey, but sometimes some strong tannins, which sometimes work, sometimes I think they don't work. That's what annoyed me in the Glendalo, for instance, 13, which was popular. They were giving some green notes. I don't like the green notes of wood in some whiskies. Okay, too long again, Greg. Second option is German. I know I've spoken already a lot. It's heavy bottle. Isla Slears 51, which I'm sure now I won't remember all the finishes. I think there are 5 finishes. It's 51 because it's 51 ABV, no color, no filtration, chill filtration, at least numbered, etc. No, it's the batch number. It's a beautiful whiskey. It's something different. It has port, sherry, Madeira. It's a lot of things. It's a kind of equivalent, but more affordable, under 70 euros, if I'm not mistaken, or so. It's a way more affordable option than the Dalmore King Alexander 3, which I like a lot, at least the one I have, which is a bit old. And that one is 40%, and this one is 51. So, just saying. So beautiful whiskey. Already talked about it. What do we have left? Last category, special occasion for World Whiskies. This is an old packaging, but this is a masterpiece. Heaven Hills flagship. Elijah Craig barrel proof. Here it's first French. It's a French store pick, but 67.4. But it goes down really well without water for experienced drinker. It's a 12 years old, but it says it very shyly somewhere. Don't remember where it is, by the way. I saw it somewhere. They tend to hide it because I suspect they will someday withdraw the 12. I didn't found where it is, maybe in the leaflet. Anyway, I don't have time to digress too much. So explosive bourbon, and one of the best. You can find better, but it's, yeah, under around 100 euros. Everything that's here on the table I chose deliberately, maximum 100 euros or so. I could have picked some other things. An alternative which is anecdotal, I apologize in advance for non-French customers, but I had to put their high-end still under 75 euros only, because it's 50 CL, but I have to put a super craft French indie bottler, Émeric Roborel de Climens. This one was it's matured in ex-French wine, white and red, finished in Cabernet Franc. It's finished is maturation in amphoras, and it's super craft, super delicately matured and monitored. This one is 51% ABV. This is how things, in my opinion, this company should, every company who works on wine finishes and wine maturation should take care of what they do, because it's super well made, super balanced, and very interesting flavor profile. This one is the Cabernet Franc, is 2020. I awarded this and another one as among my 3 whiskies of the year last year, I mean in 2020. And another one was rated 90, so they're very high. Even the 40% expression they have to be more affordable are interesting. They all source this, last thing I have to say, at the Hep distillery in Alsace, east of France, which does tremendous thing, and it's completely overlooked. And yeah, so if you come across this, if you travel to France, or someone says, oh, I can have a bottle for you of this, grab it. There you have it. Again, a long video. I wanted to do a 20-minute video. I once again didn't achieve that, but I hope it was still interesting and make you wait for several things that are on the way. One is about Craigellachie. I should have done it today, but I think the 13 years old bottle I have should breathe a bit more. It's starting to open up. So I will wait 1 week or 2 more to have it at, I think, a better state. And I will compare it to samples from the 17 years old and 23 years old. I already tried the 17, but I never tried the 23. So I swapped a sample with someone, and we'll see what all the fuss is about, because the reputation is very high. Also speak about a very special Craigellachie I had in Scotland when I went there. I didn't bought it, unfortunately. It was a bit less than 300 euros. But I reviewed it on my website. Okay, also some reviews in French. I don't, je vous oublie pas, forget you. I'm preparing, and other bilingual ones. So thanks for watching. I hope it was interesting. Again, I'm obliged to say it because I have not enough likes regarding the views and regarding what it's required to be best referenced when you're looking at videos. If you give some likes, if you comment, it helps for the channel to be exposed more. So if you can, thank you very much in advance. If you want to know about other coming up videos from me, click the notification bell, choose the option all, be aware of all videos so you don't miss them normally, and I don't have a Patreon yet. I should, I know. And see you next time, maybe in 1 or 2 weeks, I think. And take care and Happy New Year again. Bye.